And welcome back. We're still here at Agile Testing Days, reporting from Potsdam, Germany. Now with another awesome presenter and organizer. I don't know how to describe the running part, but we'll work on that in a moment. We have our friend Michael. Did I say it right? Welcome, um, uh, Bigets.
Gut, gut.
Good. Alles
Danke.
gut? I'm trying to kind of like pull my poor German, but I should stop trying to do that until I master it. Uh, Michael, how are you?
I'm good. I'm buzzing with the conference right now.
It's lots of excitement, right?
Yeah, it is. I mean, it's really like the highlight of the year for me. It's like meeting friends. I come here for several years in a row now, and it feels like I know half the people who are here, which is
Yeah.
probably not true, but a lot of familiar
I
faces.
have a feeling it's almost true.
It might be.
If not half, maybe 45% or something. But Michael, for the audience that do not know you, who are you? What do you do? What's special
Um,
about you?
what's special about me? Wow, that's
Everybody.
a that's
I-
I'm special. Um, Well, I'm a quality engineer slash ambassador at Raver Digital. Raver Digital is the IT branch of the second biggest supermarket in Germany. I've been there for like 10 years, and back 10 years ago, it was like a corporate venture. Like we had some IT, but it was very like grocery shopping IT, like warehouse management and stuff like that. And it was well, kind of old aged, good aged software, right? And then they decided, okay, we want to go into like this online shopping thing for groceries, and so they had suddenly a customer facing web application they wanted to create, and that wasn't exactly what the traditional IT there did so
Mhm.
far. So they figured, okay, let's do a completely new company and hire people who do this agile stuff. And yeah, this is how I ended up there.
I love how you said this agile stuff. The
Yeah,
thing
yeah,
that
whatever. It was a thing we did back then, kids. Like, yeah, the older ones might remember. No, it's yeah. So basically, we have self organized teams. No QA department whatsoever. So basically,
Oh.
hey, folks, you developers, you are responsible for quality.
Ah,
There will be no QA department magically testing quality in after you messed it up. So why don't you get it right the first time?
ha.
And yeah, so there was a lot to figure out, like test automation strategies, and yeah, we did all the nice little mistakes, right? And well, eventually we got it somehow right. And I
Eventually, I mean, I want to think that now it's flowing better.
yeah, I mean, the reason why I tell that, coming from a question, who am I? What's special about me? Is really they hired me specifically because I was kind of into QA already, and that was due to I've been to this conference. So my boss made me go here as a junior developer, and I came from a project that was really messed up, basically a dumpster fire, right? And like weekends for bug fixing and stuff like that. And I was hooked on that. Why don't we all pay some attention to all these things instead of just cleaning them up afterwards? Let's do good software in a continuous, sustainable way. And here I gotten all the tools to do that, right? So
It's
that
a very weird turn of events. A boss of development sending you to agile testing days. Why? What got into him, or what do you think is?
I don't know what Mario was thinking back then. I guess he realized, okay, there's a demand. So I was working for a consultancy,
Mhm.
so body leasing stuff, and he realized the customers want this like wholesome developer people who think ahead of own or think beyond just churning out code and rather like CI/CD and stuff like that, and he figured, yeah, maybe he will learn stuff like that. I was into it already, coming from the dumpster fire project, so I thought there must be a better way of doing this, and here I learned a
You
lot
were
about
already
that.
kind of like thinking around it.
Yeah, I was already motivated to learn about it, and so he said, yeah, go there.
And I'm curious because you're not only a attendee that you are learning anymore. Now you're a presenter. You also give back here. How did that transition happen into? You're just thrown at the ATD, and now you are.
Oh, it took me. So I went here, and ticket prices aren't the cheapest on the market, I'd say, for a conference. And I figured, okay, the budget that I had to go to conferences was very limited and below that threshold. And so I figured, okay, if I want to go to conferences, there's a nice way of getting a free ticket. Just be a speaker, right? So. And then I discovered, well, I really like to be on stage, and I like that process of coming up with a topic, identifying something that actually has some demand that would work on a conference, and then just dig into that topic until I have something that I can that you could call a talk or a workshop or whatever. And so yeah, I've got hooked by the speaker thing.
So
Yeah.
you were not like because many people are like the stage fright and all the situations. Sounds like you were just like, I can do it. I like it. Okay, let's keep it up.
Um, Well, I felt the thrill, like
Uh-huh.
in a good and in a bad way, but there was the good way already. So it wasn't like I really want to flee this. It was like when I stepped on stage, a friend of mine once voiced the theory that so until you do the talk, you're in flight mode. And as soon as you are on stage, you switch to fight mode.
Ah.
And in that and for me that worked perfectly well, right? So but yeah, I messed up talks. I was not good at this to begin with. I think nobody is a natural here because there's so much stuff that you need to keep in your head and that you need to automate in a way, like think ahead, pay attention to your audience and stuff. And yeah, but I like it. So
What are the things or actions that you have done to kind of improve that? Because yeah, I'm sure that you were not natural, as you were saying. I'm not criticizing,
uh,
but yeah, what are your usual things to kind of get improving?
well, I look at a lot of great speakers, and I try to steal ideas wherever I can get them. Um, Early on, I had that drive to present complex stuff in a way that non-technical people would understand them. Because when you work in an agile context, you usually have some stakeholders or product owners, and some are technical, and you can talk code with them, but actually that's a lot of complexity that they don't need to make their decision, right? So I was always like, can we make this information more adequate for them to understand the gist of it instead of like showing them walls of text and stuff?
Just getting them bored and
Yeah,
confused.
right. And so I watch YouTube videos. For example, one of my favorite things that I watched that helped me a lot to become a better presenter was, I think it's a TED or TEDx talk,
Ah,
and it's Death by PowerPoint.
yeah, I know it.
You know it?
Yeah,
I
it's
love it.
it it,
Yeah.
it it gives you so many ideas. Or I was already a presenter when I saw it, and I'm like, oh. Yeah,
What
I'll try to get like some links as well because
like really? Why do we keep doing this? Really? Uh,
and on another topic I was hinting as well that you are not only a presenter here, you also kind of volunteer and do early in the day activities. How did that happen, and why did you decide it as well? Like, yeah. Well, first, what do you do? Special,
so
different.
so the social activities that I do. Well, I really love this conference, and part of why I love it is the people who are organizing this are so lovely. I made friends with the team really, and well, you just do some extra effort to for everybody to have a good time here, right? So if you like a place, at least for me, it's like natural. Okay, I want to help to keep it that way or make it even better. And yeah, so the story is I joined the Agile Morning Run. I didn't start that thing. It was Søren who started it.
Ah,
Søren Wassergaard. I probably slaughtered his last name.
yeah.
And
I'm not even gonna try the last name, so
yeah,
don't worry.
that's fine. And then eventually he asked me, "Hey, can you take over? Because I can't do it anymore." And so yeah, that's how that happened. And
And even since then, how many times have you been in Agile Testing Days?
that's a brilliant question. I have no inkling about. I think it might be my sixth or seventh.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
So
So my fifth as a presenter, I think.
so you just came as an attendee once, and the next time you were like, yeah, now I'm gonna present.
No, I came here twice as an attendee,
Uh huh.
like a paid ticket, and then I spent 5 years of being rejected to get to that sweet spot. And yeah, then I learned. So after I was lucky enough to be accepted with not such a great abstract and not such a great talk, to be honest, I made friends with a lot of speakers here, and now we review each other's stuff and pitch ideas to one another. And this is maybe the biggest secret. Like, make friends with speakers, and they experienced speakers, and you help each other to
Yeah.
write better abstracts. Because to tell a dirty little secret, if you can write a brilliant abstract, it doesn't matter if your talk is not that great, because most conferences will only judge the abstract and the title.
Yeah.
And so yeah, writing a great abstract is definitely a skill that you have to have, otherwise you won't be a speaker.
What a great recommendation, because many, and I have experienced that and I have seen it. I'm pointing at you, but I don't know exactly if you do that. But many times you don't even have an idea of what are you exactly going to be presenting, but the big, like cracking your head and trying to figure out what is going to be the title, what is going to be my abstract. Once I have that, when it's accepted, oh, then now I have to do a talk. And I know many that even hours before their talk, they are still working on that, those slides and what to do, right? What's
Yeah,
your style there?
my style is so my slides, they are really, I put a lot of effort in my slides. I don't pay too much attention in what I will say, to be honest. I
Ah,
only have a rough idea. This is my style. It doesn't work for everybody,
no,
I
no,
know
no.
that. But I like to be spontaneous on stage. Like, I have slides, there's hardly any text on them. It's
I
more,
love it.
usually I have graphical stuff. I draw my own slides. I don't use memes or stuff like that. So I draw things like, for example, today I will, no, tomorrow I will present continuous integration, continuous development, an introductory talk. And I ask myself, okay, there are a lot of practices that make up CI/CD. How can I visually present how they build up on each other? And then I came up with the metaphor of a building blocks tower. So for
Like the
example, you
Jenga
have
one?
like sorry.
Jenga one, or more
No,
like
no, more like the
bricks?
kit bricks, basically.
Uh
Not
huh.
not Legos, but the
Similar
wooden
one, like
ones,
yeah, yeah.
basically. And I created some 3D. Really, like I've drawn them. Like I learned that in arts and crafts in school, right?
Cool.
To how to do it. So I use a vector graphics program to create them, and then so the lowest brick is like version control, and so on. And in the middle there is a twice sliced pyramid, like get test automation, get integration risk covered, get
This
get the tip of the pyramid, and so you have this kind of shaky tower of practices that you need to learn. And this is the way I love to present stuff, like giving some visual metaphor to go along with the pure information, so people's brains will work in different parts.
That's great because also you're bringing your own creativity or your own capabilities. I'm surprised that you draw or you create your, and even render yourself all the slides. I think that's bringing your own essence into the
Yeah, this
presentation.
is my style. I like to do it that way. It's a ton of work. I don't recommend to do that to new speakers. It's just what I do, and I can teach it to people who want to do the same style. But if people ask me how can I create a great presentation, I rather stick to, yeah, why don't you use a picture instead of 10 lines of text? Why don't you make that text way more concise if you need to use it? Stuff like that. Because what I do is too much work for most people. So, but I spend a lot of work. Like I write the abstract and I immediately jump to the slides
Mhm.
and try to make them nice. So it's not like if I get accepted, you usually have like 3 months to create a presentation. But if you do slides like I do, that's still not that
Not
much
enough.
time.
3 months may not be enough to. Yeah, I know. There are some times where you gotta limit yourself on not to go too crazy with them, and
Right.
um, but Michael, now to ramp down a little bit, and you have already been giving a lot of recommendations to the audience, our friends watching. What would be the your last like punctual recommendations for good presentations, the slides, and CFP is that as well? Is what would you recommend in all the
For, for,
experience?
to get accepted as a speaker or to do a great presentation?
First, get accepted. Recommendations.
Get accepted. So find people who have some experience or at least are into the same thing. Contact me if you want, seriously, and send me something like a Google Doc and ask me for feedback. I might not immediately have time to do it, but find people who do this on a regular basis, and they will review your abstract. And I won't steal your ideas. I cannot rub them out of my hat anymore, but and so eventually I might use them, but I will give credit where credit is due. And
I don't think anyone would steal
I
ideas.
know
It's
it's, but you cannot unknow
yeah.
things, right? So that's my point. Yeah, and then I don't know. But keep in mind that the abstract is the thing that the reviewers will mostly judge what you're doing. If that's really a good idea to get it into the conference, think about what the conference is looking for. Think about your targeted audience, like who do you want to present to, and then spend really some effort and maybe have some brainstorming with friends over beers or something about the
Especially with
title.
beers. Yeah, that helps.
About the title, because the title is the one thing. So the reviewers, they will read the whole abstract, but most attendees, they browse over the titles and then decide if they want to read the abstract. So think about what would catch the eye, and because that's important to draw a big audience,
Huh.
right? And then one final thing that I find really important: if you write an abstract, you make explicit learning goals. Like,
Ah.
what should somebody listening to my talk be able to do, know, have an idea about after they listen to this talk?
What
For
they are taking out of the talk. And
Right. So and be honest about it. I mean, you have like 30 minutes or something like that, right? So you cannot read a book to them in that time.
yeah.
So what is your goal? And it's like, for example, that CICD talk that I'm doing here. It's like I want to make people understand what CICD is about, what it's not about, and I want to sell the idea to them basically. So they should be able to understand if they are ready to do this.
Great.
And that's the goal of that talk, right? So
great recommendation, and I think that it's that's gonna land. And I hope that you are taking notes and trying to get into what is going to help coming from someone very much experienced and that you have been around this for several years. Sounds like and very much experienced. And since you offered some help and also to follow up, where and how can people reach out to you and follow up with what you're doing or ask for?
You can find me on LinkedIn.
It's down here, the name if you want to look for it.
Yeah, or you can reach out to me on Blue Sky. That also works. Mastodon, I'm also there. So yeah, you just send me a message, and I might say no because I have too much work right now. But yeah,
When there's a chance, reach out if you can. I know that definitely he's gonna help if he can, because well, we also have busy schedules here and there. But Michael, thank you very much for coming and agreeing to share a little bit of your experience and insights with the audience. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
thank you.
Dankeschön.
Get it.
And there you have it, another awesome presenter, multi-presenter, super experienced, awesome testing, agile tester, very much agile. And well, here at the Agile Testing Days conference, and things are not over yet. We are going to have more adventures, more friends, and more knowledge and recommendations for you. So stay tuned because we're just starting. This is a multi-day conference. We're going to have lots of adventures and more interviews later today. So stay tuned, and thank you very much. Thank you, Michael.
Thank you.
And till later. See you soon. Adios. Auf Wiedersehen.
Adios.
Bye bye. And out.